Right. Is it twice? All right, all right, all right, all right. No, don't clone anything. Don't open up a new tab. Don't do anything like that. Not at all. Welcome to the Troy Graham Experience, Daddy's Lounge, episode 10. And I got my beet juice back. So I'm in rare form today. What else is it? Beet juice, watermelon, and ginger today. That's what I got in here. That's why it's so nice. So, because I'm a drinker, let me go get my drink real quick for the show start. I have to get an extra sip out of there. What? Thing is nice. Oh, I forgot. I put lemon in there too. So beets, watermelon, ginger, and lemon. Tastes like beet, watermelon, ginger ale, actually. Yeah, tastes pretty good. If I don't know if you all drink those kombucha juices and stuff like that, I buy those too. But that's what that tastes like. One of them. Yes, indeed. I didn't put any sugar in there either. Usually I'll put some cane sugar in there and all that, but you know, not today. So let me get to the topic, and then I'll tell you about my day and all that. Then I'll get on to what I'm talking about today. So the topic today is when it comes to your life and your children's lives, you are not a reporter. You're not here to report on what is. You're a commander of what is to come, right? Meaning you're not just here to take notes on what they're doing or even take charge. Excuse me one more time. Yeah, pardon me. I doubt you wanted to hear or see me blow my nose. So uh, it's easy to say, right? Just take charge. Because after a certain while, kids get a certain age, they want to swell their chests out, want to challenge you. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you say to them, they're just not going to listen. And something got to break. We can't constantly, even if you say, "Well, I'm not putting up with that up in my house." All you got to do is call the police, and if they're a minor, they'll tell you have to put them. You either got to forfeit your parental rights, or you got to let them up in the house. And if you forfeit your parental rights, then you have to go downtown to do that. You can't do that the day of the offense. You have to go downtown and go through this and go through that. But before we get there, let me tell you how I got here today, right? So I'm a writer. I write a lot. I read. I listen to public positive affirmations, and I write things down. So I have this book of quotes and positive affirmations that I created. Mainly what I created is some quotes that I've heard. Can't find that book today. I had it in my hand last night, pen and all, and I can't find the book. Right? So I looked everywhere in the house, can't find the book. Imagine if your favorite rapper lost his rhyme book. That's how I feel that I can't find that in my book of quotes and affirmations. Because most of the titles and things that I talk about, they come from me listening and reading and come from that book. So I didn't have that book today. And I don't do anything going blind, at least not when it comes to this subject. I don't go blind. I mean, I can tell you stories of my life as a father, but it's not really what I wanted to do because I would have to get personal and all, and I don't want to do that just yet. But at least not every day. Every time I come on, I mean. So anyway, I couldn't find my book. I still haven't found my book. There's a reason why I can't find it, but it's in this house. I looked everywhere for it. I even call myself looking in the freezer because sometimes we just forget. What's up? What's up, Frankie Blanco? What's up? What's up? What's up? Sometimes we forget and just leave stuff laying around. I left my keys in the mailbox one time. I looked up and down for them keys, couldn't find it. Walked outside, mailbox open, keys in it. Luckily, I live in a very decent neighborhood, a neighborhood with decent people. Okay, so my keys were just there. Nobody took it or anything like that. Um, so what the heck does that have to do with the topic of the day, Roy? Mindset. I, I'm, you know, in that book, like I said, I write. I even have a rhyme book. Because usually I write stuff down on the laptop, on the tablet, in the phone. Then I switch it over to a hard copy in case something happens to the, you know. I have my rhyme book, but I even have a story book where I can start creating stories and scripts and I have all of that. But I can't find my book of quotes. So again, what does that have to do with the topic of today? It helps me to create. It helps me to basically get a command of what's to come. Those quotes are like uh, epiphanies, or sometimes I even feel like I'm clairvoyant when I get all that energy in me. I like to say that there's a spiritual door opens and my soul just goes. It just goes. That's where I get a lot of the writing from. I get to ride. I get to be free. Haven't done that in a minute though. But the writing of quotes and positive affirmation helps me unlock that door again. That goes back to the title that you are not here to report on what is. You are the commander of what shall be. That's difficult, man, because it's difficult, especially when the kids are babies. We just change your pampers, you feed them, and bathe them, and get them on a schedule. They're easy. You can raise your voice this much and that much to get their attention. Cool. What about when they get older and they want to puff out their chest? Being that I raised a girl and three boys, I get it from both ends. Little girls will challenge you with their mouth, just mouthy and sarcastic and talking back. Well, boys will actually physically challenge you sometimes. They want to puff up. And when you punch them in the chest or something, yeah, that's child abuse. It wasn't child abuse when I was coming up. It's called good damn parenting. Get back in your place. Not to say that that happened, but if it did, it did. So I was so upset, and I said, "Man, my my left hand started cramping up. I thought something was wrong with me. I was looking for every excuse not to come on today because I couldn't find my damn book. My book. I couldn't. So at that point, I gave up the command. I was no longer in charge. You see where I'm going? Hopefully, I was no longer in charge. I let something else have command over me, and I was no longer in charge. I was one of the parents that was just. I don't know if you've been there, but I have. Uh, where I wasn't in command. I was just kind of reporting on stuff. I would be at culinary school. I'd get the call. One of my sons got into something. I have to leave class and come back instead of me just saying, "Well, deal with it. Deal with it. Why I need to drive 30 minutes out my way for something the school's supposed to take care of and miss my grade?" But instead, I was that parent, ready, ever ready parent, ever ready. Mm, just never taking command, just reporting on everything. Okay, well, tell me what they did this time, and I'll just report on it. too afraid to just tell the school, tell my boys, you got no place to go but my house. Get yourself together or get out. I don't care if you're 12. I don't care if you're 13. I don't care if you're 12. I don't care if you're 11. And I don't care if you're 8. We ain't going to sleep tonight. Because you get in trouble one more time, you ain't coming to my house. No, I didn't do that. Mm-mm. See, because at that point, I'm taking charge and I'm in command. I'm creating the situation. And they're going to be like, you going to throw us out for real? Like, like Baltimore trash, baby. Of course, I wasn't going to do that. But they didn't know that. I just had to make them believe that. Troy, you don't do that to children. Well, you don't do that to children. Sometimes you have to go way over there to bring them back over here. Like if you read the Bible and all that, my grandmother used to gave me a children's Bible in 1976, and she used to read it to me every night. And what I come to find out as an adult, God don't play that. I was talking to someone about Noah, even though I called him Moses, but I was talking to him about Noah and the ark. He warned him. He warned him. He said, "The flood's coming. You gonna help this man and take charge of your family, take charge of your life and your family's life and survive, or you just gonna ridicule him?" They ridiculed him, and they all ended up washed away. Hmm. The hardest thing to do when you, especially when your children outnumber you, is to take charge. Trust me, I know. I was never a take charge type cat. I'm the type of cat that if it's an emergency, I get calm. The darker the situation, the calmer I get, try to figure stuff out, and then I push forward. That's the way I do stuff. Other people want to jump up and take, but I, I I stay calm and I try to figure things out, and then from there, people will follow me from there. So gives it looks like I'm in charge, like I'm a leader, but it's just my natural nature to want to slow things down, so I can see how to maneuver. If I can't see how to maneuver. That's just everything gets chaotic then if it moves too fast. So I have to calm down. Like I'm not telling that story. It's not positive. Uh, the first time, just just think the worst thing that can happen to you, but you stay calm. You're in charge at that point because whether you lost a fight or whatever the case, whatever it is, if you just stay calm and you just look at your surroundings and you clean yourself up and go, all of a sudden the person who wins is like, how is he able to just get up with ease like that? He starts questioning himself, like, what's he gonna do tomorrow? Is he going to his trunk today? He starts reporting on everything around him, but he's not in charge anymore. And that's exactly the way it works in a house with children. Sometimes it's best just to stay calm. They gonna push you. Hell, they push. Being a single father, I know about being pushed. Even when I was married, it was easier when I was married because it was two voices then. But once you by yourself, it's only that one voice, and it's not that easy. Not that easy at all. At all. But Yeah, I spent so much time kind of like reporting on things like, okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I reported on everything. They went to the honor roll. I reported on it instead of saying, you know what, congratulations, I'm proud of you. Now let's see how much better you could be next time. But Daddy, I just did this. I know you did, and I'm so proud of you. But life is a challenge, baby. You got to always challenge yourself. Take some time and enjoy the moment, but don't get lost in it. Because we got to get up tomorrow and do a new brand thing and do a new thing every day. The world don't stop going, so neither can we. That's taking charge. See, I have to learn on the go. You have to learn on the go. You know, that's like the song "Bag Lady." I was a bag man. Oh, bag lady. Right, that was me. Whole lot of baggage, but it wasn't always bad. You know, it wasn't always bad. I have a ton of great memories, but it's gonna get heavy, and those are the times when you have to take charge and say, and stop telling them, don't. We get into this yelling thing. I know I did. I would raise my voice. I want to box them. And like, yo, I would raise my voice and be like, look, that ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna happen. Power tripping, and that's what they want. Kids ain't stupid. Once they get you to be all distracted with your own irrationality, they got you, and that's what they want. It's a game to them, kind of like if you run from a dog. It's a game to them. That dog gonna chase you, right? So once they get you all irrational, they gonna run. You gonna chase them in this case. You gonna chase the children in this case. It's fun. It's a game until one of them get caught and they get a spanking. It ain't fun no more. But then you the bad guy for the rest of the night. I won't go live with mommy. I wish your ass would. Got me run up and down the steps. Almost had a stroke. But look, I wish I knew where that damn book was. Back to that book. But anyway, I listened to so much positive stuff, not just to do this, just to help me stay level, you know, because the world will, will fill you up with a. I don't even really watch the news anymore. I got it. Excuse me. I have an app and it pops up on my computer and it tells me about local stuff and major news events and kidnappings and all that. But when I'm ready, I just press a button and the notifications will turn off. I'm taking charge. Because I remember when I had to sit down for a little bit, like one summer I had to sit down, right? I was on vacation with this state of Maryland. So I got into writing down my needs and my wants because I refused to be locked up mentally, emotionally, physically. I just refused. Physically, obviously, I was there. I couldn't get out the building. But mentally and emotionally, I wasn't going to get locked up. Be all angry and then doing stupid stuff to make me stay longer. I wasn't going to do that. So I learned how to meditate and travel. And on a piece of paper, I wrote down my needs and my wants. Obviously, my need is to stay alive. My want was to be free. Right? My need was to stay healthy, so only eat the fruit. My want was to not get weak in here. And when that happened, that's God works, they say he works when he works in mysterious ways, right? When I got out, And at that point, I lost custody of the kids to their mama. But I got to see them every other weekend. So when they would act up and carry on, I would be like, look, let's do something. Just tell me what you need and, and tell me what you want. And but you got to work for it. I'm not just gonna give it to you. This is so they would sit, and that would freeze them. Like, we get what we want. I said, no, I didn't say that. I said, tell me what you feel that you need while you acting this way, and I'll tell you what I want you to do, so I could give you what you need. And even though the youngest was 7 at the time, and the next one was 10, and there was 11, they understood what the hell I was talking about. They understood. They clearly understood. So they were like, well, we want some Chinese food, Daddy. You don't got to cook tonight. Cause see, I used to drive for a Chinese food place, so he would give me food half off. Man wouldn't even give me no free food. Give me food half off. So I said, okay, what do you want? And they all were right there. Oh, General's chicken. Da, 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 da. By the time it was over with, I had a bill for like $45. I said, okay, this. I had a bill for like, it probably wasn't 45. I'm exaggerating because it was General Chow's, fried chicken wings and rice, whatever. Yeah. So let's say it was $30, close to 30, whatever the case may be. So I'm like, okay, so this is what you want, right? They said, yeah, that's what we want. We want hot sauce and ketchup. Relax. Now, this is what I need you to do. See that vacuum? One of you go in the living room and vacuum. Pick up first. Okay, see that? The dirty clothes upstairs? In your damn room with the bed not made up. One of you go in that room, get get a lawn bag or trash bag or whatever. Put the dirty clothes downstairs in the laundry room so I can wash them. And the other one, well, you're gonna vacuum upstairs. You're gonna sweep the steps, and everybody gonna vacuum a room upstairs. See how that worked? They got what they wanted, but this is what they needed to do to get it. So I took charge without huffing and puffing. Needs and wants. But I had to go through something to learn that. It wasn't like I just woke up and I had an epiphany. Mm-mm. Wasn't like that. I mean, I'm not the dullest knife in the drawer either. I'm not, I might be diamond tip sharp some days, and other days I'm a butter knife. You never know. But sometimes God will give you something. So when I started practicing the needs and wants with them, things became a little slower. I remember I told you when things get real hectic, I have a tendency to just things slow down for me and they work better. So I could see, everything is just right here. So I can see it and I say, okay, we can maneuver. But if everything's like this, I can't maneuver because I can't see. So, and I started working. I couldn't keep doing it. I had to do other things. Like I would tell them, look, we all want to watch TV because I said bedtime is 8 o'clock during the week, right? Y'all got to get up at 6 in the morning, man, because they so slow in the morning. Even though the school is 5 minute walk, I got them up at 6 in the morning. We took our bath and all that stuff the night before. Took out our clothes the night before. Made sure they were ironed. They had uniforms. They wore uniforms, right? So yeah, they wore uniforms, and so they were like, okay, well, can we stay up a little later? and watch this show? And I said, no. I said, well, why not? You said this, you said that. If we do this and that, I said, well, it's a school night, but you, if you do everything you need to do during the week, then Friday you could stay up. You could put the mattresses downstairs. You'll bring, because they had a bunk bed, and then everybody had their own bed. So I told them, look, if you want, you could put the mattresses on the floor upstairs, and you could stay up all night Friday and play a video game, or you could just stay up a half an hour late tonight. They looked at each other. Okay, we'll clean up and stay up all night on Friday. Mm-hmm. You still got to clean a little bit on the weekend, but then that's cool, right? And I'll even come up there and play with y'all for a little bit. So that's what I used to do. I used to give them some things they thought they wanted. I worked it out to make it benefit me more. I mean, it benefited them, but there's no way I was gonna let them stay up late on a school night. I don't care what it was. I said, okay, I tell you what I can do. I can record it. You know, I had a DVR and all. I could record it, and then you could watch it on the weekend, or you could only watch a half an hour of it and miss the rest of the damn show. Which one you want to do? You can record it, and we'll clean up, and then we'll stay up late on Friday. Hmm. Yeah. Did that work all the time? No. Nothing works all the time. Nothing. But it worked when it needed to work, you know? Because you got three minds, even though they're young and they don't know they elbow from their butt. You got three little minds who think they could outsmart you. I'm in my 40s, or at that time I was in pushing close to 40. And these little kids think they could outsmart me. No, I was in my 40s then. Was I? Yeah, I was. I was. So yeah. So what I had to do was tell myself, I'm not playing their game. I go play my game. And everything was gonna be alright. Everything will be alright. And it worked. They were on the honor roll. They will start reading a bunch of books. They were doing what they need to do for a minute. And then friends. Friends that don't have any daddies in the house. Friends whose mothers don't care what they do and what time they come in the house because they angry and bitter. Friends whose mamas got them doing extracurricular things on the street. Hmm. Yeah. So before it was you take me out of it. Say it was your children. It was your voice against your, and do the math. Your voice against your children's voice. Everything was working out because you the hero because you could facilitate some things. Uh-oh. But look, now they got somebody their own age or maybe a year or two older. He gets to do whatever he wants. His mama don't care. Live, die, whatever. Just go make me some money on the street. Looks so easy because it's called the callousness of freedom. You know, when you give your child that much freedom, what the hell do you think is gonna happen? What? He going all up in your neighborhood, going all up in somebody's house in a different neighborhood, and what do you think gonna happen? What kind of human being are you creating? A problem for everybody else. That's what it is. So now your little children that you're teaching see all this excitement and fast movement. They're like, why can't we do that? Why can't we? Why can't we have money like that? They got money like that. They ain't got to go here, there, and do this and that. They just do what they want. How come we can't do that? Because you got a father. Bright boys, you have a father. You have a voice that's going to save you from the hell you're about to create for yourself and the pain that's going to might leave your father inside him if anything happens to y'all. But like my grandmother used to say, if you don't hear, you're going to feel. See this jaw? Had it broken. See that collarbone? Had that cracked. See that this leg here? Had it broke twice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Been knocked out once with a baseball bat. Right? So it's, yeah. If you don't hear, you're going to feel. A lot of broken bones on me, man. A lot of broken bones. And so, lucky for them, they didn't have the broken bones. They had time, gaps in time, which is worse than broken bones. Because even though my bones were broken, I was home and I had the luxury of being where I wanted to be. I just couldn't go outside, couldn't talk. So I'm like, why would I go outside? I couldn't walk, so I couldn't go outside. Not to, oh, and I was, mm-mm. Story for another day. So I didn't want any of that for them. But like anything else, they had to learn on their own. See, their sister wasn't like that. She wasn't as adventurous as them. She waited till she got older, and she became too trusting. You know, you figure she figured I'm 18, 19, 21. I could do what I want now. I told her, okay, look, you working. I got it. You graduated from school. I'm not going to be opening my door at 2 in the morning for you. Get home by 1, at least. If you no later than, I say 12:30, no later than 1. All right? I get it. You're 21. But don't, our neighborhood was just making that turnaround. So I didn't want, she's a young lady. She can't be coming in the house that late. So you don't know who's following you, who might, somebody could jump out at you. So I told her, I'm locking my door at 1. I'm putting the chain on and taking my ass to sleep. I gotta get up in the morning at 6. And she tested me one too many times. So one day she left. She went to sleep over at auntie house and never came back. Never came back to the house. And mother blamed me for that. Like, yeah, you chased my baby away. No, she chased herself away. Because wherever you go, there's gonna be rules to follow. So just follow them. Can't do what you want on a job, can you? You can't do what you want at school, can you? You can't do what you want in society, can you? So what makes you think you can do what you want up in here? I told you it's cool. Just come in at 1. What you got to do after 1 during the week besides work? And you weren't a nurse yet, so I mean, what you doing out that late? Because as I explained to her, you're tall. You got your mom. You're good looking like your mama, and you overdeveloped just like your mama was when she was your age and all that. So somebody's watching you. You might not see them. Who watching me? I'm like, I don't know who the hell watching you, but somebody watching you, baby girl, and you just wanna. The reason why I don't want you out there late because I don't want that to happen to you. Let's say you turn the key to come in the house, somebody forced their way in behind you, everybody in here is dead at that point. And who knows what's going to happen to you? Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, I never thought about that. And yeah, I know that. But I have to. I got to keep that type of, that, that thought process. You know? I got to be. So that's why I didn't let you in. And plus, I knew your auntie would let you in. Because I pretty much Called her, I think. I said she probably gonna come over there tonight. She, how you know that? I said, cause she's not gonna listen to me. She's not gonna come in on time. She gonna come to your house. Watch. You gonna lock my niece out? Absolutely. How is she gonna learn a lesson? You just mean. The world is a whole lot worse than I am. It is. But I tell you the irony of things. That same little daughter of mine, who's 35 now, she got boys that she raising now. How about that? Who said God don't have a sense of humor? Who said that? Hmm? I'm sick of going on mute, so that's the whole thing with being anemic and low iron. You get shoe ice. That's kind of like my Achilles heel or whatever. Shoe ice. I guess it's better than eating all the time, right? Hmm. I guess so. I guess so. But yeah, see, and then as they grow older and they make the transition, that turn. Usually, most teenagers make that turn if they're real good. If you're blessed, they'll start making that turn at 15, 16, 17, 18. If it goes into the 19s and the 20s, you plan on going through a lot of stuff. I speak from experience. But 17, they usually, or 16, girls usually make it at 14. That 14, 15, they kind of make a transition. They start understanding things a little bit better because they have inquisitive minds. So once they turn that corner, they say, "Oh, so that's why you didn't want me to do X, Y, Z." Then that's when they start taking command and they stop reporting. They start taking command of their own life and say, "Okay, I see some of what you were saying, but you didn't have to be that rough." Well, yeah, I did. How's your big butt gonna listen? Hmm? Thank you. Boys, 16, 17, 18, make the They should have made the transition earlier than that. Really, some of them, if you're real blessed, they start taking command and say, "Okay, I'm coming out of this little boy phase, and I'm now becoming a young man. I'm not an adult, but I'm a young man. I can understand a little better where I'm going, or where I want to be, and what I need to facilitate to get me there." Right? So that's about that time. Well, as long as they don't have any kids early or anything like that. If it's just them, it's cool. If they have kids early, we're having a different conversation. Very different conversation. So now they making that transition, but they still hanging out with the same people. So they haven't made the transition completely because once you transition, you're bold enough to walk away. If you haven't transitioned all the way, excuse me, you're not bold enough to walk away. Okay, you toe in and toe out. You say, okay, well, I'm gonna take command. No, I'm not really gonna take command yet. I'm gonna transition. No, I'm not gonna transition just yet. I'm not ready. I'm still gonna be the reporter and not the commander. See, and that's where the issue comes in of defiance, discipline, and just having to apologize later on for a bunch of stupid stuff. If you blessed not to get into anything major, even by circumstance, right? Just sometimes it could just be circumstance and getting to you know to some major stuff. So That being said, it's up to you then to say, how hard are you going to push, or how strong are you going to be to let them learn on their own? That's the difficult part, because grandmother taught me some lessons. She said, how you ever going to appreciate healing if you don't go through any pain? And hence the broken bones, the jaw, the two broken legs. How are you going to appreciate healing if you don't go through the pain of being hurt? Huh? So sometimes the kids just have to go through the pain of being hurt. And then when they get out of it, in most cases, because they have a good foundation, they're your children. In most cases, they're your children. So they get out of it, they go through the pain. Now they say, okay, I have a better understanding. Let's not do that again. Let's not do that again. Let's push on, and let's push on forward. Let's persevere and just go forward and not look back. Because I do not want to go back there again. Mm-mm. No, ma'am. No, sir. Aunt Nash, what's going on? And that's when you got to step back and let them just go through it. Because just like an eagle or whatever, it's the eagle that pushes a child out the nest so she could fly, so they could fly. You got to do that too. Some people shove them out. I'm not saying shove them out, but let them fall. Let them go through it. If they stay down, then something ain't clicked from all the teachings, or something ain't right. But if they find the strength to push up, and they fall again, and they push up and push up and push up, then they have the strength to push up. But it's something in their understanding and this not grasping everything. Because why are you playing Lazarus? You can only play Lazarus so many times, huh? You gonna keep playing Lazarus? You gonna keep tempting fate? That's what you gonna do? You mean you got away last time? Well, you didn't get away with it. You were punished. But now you're punished. Now you punished again. You punished again. You punished. Come on, man. Enough already. Because you don't just go through that ride. Your family go through the ride with you. Got it? And picture this. Like I told my son, you have a brother or a family member. He comes to you and say, "Yo, I need to borrow X amount of money." You say, "Okay, cool. We always been cool." You give it to the person. Then they pay you back. Then a month or two pass. Oh, I need to borrow something. You give that person that money. They pay it back. Couple of months pass or whatever, weeks. I need to. You like, my dude. You becoming. You're breaking my back. Okay. Figure out what you want to do with yourself and do it. But I can't take this ride with you all the time. And that's what happens. When I had to explain to them, the older they got, that they were weighing me the hell down. I'm not gonna keep taking this walk with you. I don't have to. You put yourself here, not me. You wanted to be a reporter and not a commander. Then you put yourself here. If you were in command, you would have told yourself, do what was right. Right. But daddy, no, I ain't your daddy now. Remember? Also, I ain't your daddy. Some of the worst lessons are learned through the people with the biggest hearts. Because compassion and cruelty are both on the same coin. They are. They are. They're on the same coin. It just depends. Your child comes up to you and say, "Daddy, do I look fat in these jeans or whatever?" No, baby, you're just fat. And then they run off and go to their mama. Him said I was fat. No, my name is not him. And you shouldn't have asked a question you don't want an answer to if you weren't ready for that. But I said, look, at least I told you the truth, right? You wanted to know if you look fat in them jeans? No, jeans don't make people look fat. You just fat. What's the problem? What the problem is? So what you want me to do? What do you gonna do? You gonna lose weight, or you just gonna squeeze a 190-pound body and 170 jeans made for people that weigh 170 pounds? I mean, what the hell are you gonna do? I guess I gotta start going back to the gym. Ta-da! Need and want. You want to wear these jeans. They size whatever. So you need to go to the gym and work out. Why didn't you just say that? Well, because if I said it, you would have never figured it out on yourself. What's the need of me then? Walks off and sucks her teeth, which they got from me. See the lesson in there? You know, I could easily say, take your big ass to the gym. You'll get them jeans. No, you have to figure that out on your own. Daddy, I don't know. Teacher said I get on a basketball team. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I said, I don't know why you want to play basketball. You're only 6'4". I mean, what's 6'4" people person play basketball? That don't make no sense. You should go play golf or something. You should go play table tennis or something like that. Much easier. Table tennis. I don't even know what table tennis is, Daddy. And I'm sick. We talking about 6'4" people don't play basketball? I know what you're doing, Daddy. I know what you're doing. I'm gonna go sign up for the team. Mm-hmm. And that dude became my Dennis Rodman, man. That was my Dennis Rodman right there. Just grabbing rebounds. Had a knack for it too. But I couldn't tell them. Once they got older, I didn't. You don't just give the answers up. They got to think, because what, you ain't gonna be around forever. And sometimes, I mean, hell, I told my children I think I could have been a much better father. They were like, "Well, you did all right. You just hard on yourself. You're hard on us, but you're hard on yourself." I said, "Yeah, I know. I just felt I could have been better." See, that's the good thing. When they get older, you can have these conversations, but don't force it. Let them come to you and ask. All right. I remember my oldest son asking me, "Why did him? Why did? What did I do to their mother that she divorced me?" I said, "I divorced her. We got divorced, but I did no, no." So he's like, "Well, why? What happened?" Yeah, there's only a couple of reasons why people get divorced. So I told it to him, and he was like, "Why didn't you just tell me? I would have been on your side." I said, "First of all, you the wolf, I'm the moon. The moon don't holler at the wolf. Okay? What are, what are you talking about, Dad? What do you mean, wolf, moon? I don't listen to what I'm saying to you. I'm the moon. You the wolf. You getting power from me. I don't get power from you." Oh, oh. So you're saying it was none of my business at the time because I was a child. Yeah. So how come you telling me now? I said, well, you asked and you're 20 years old. If you didn't ask, you would have never. And he said, you would have never told us, right? No, not my job to air out what happened between me and your mother. All you gotta do is just love and respect her, and love and respect me, and live your life. You don't need to know everything, but if you want to know, ask questions, right? How else you gonna get the answers you want? That's you taking command and not just reporting on life. You know, quiet mouth. Don't get fed. Not that you got to yell. Like I like to tell them, you like to speak with volume, all loud and everything. I speak volume, so I don't really have to raise my voice. See the difference? Hmm. This is much more easier when all I had to do was write, because I could get away from it. All I had to do was write, hit send, and boof, Daddy's Lounge, new quote of the day. I was coming on here and sharing, but I'm not really opening up too much. Learn my lesson about that. The difference between what I'm doing now, what I was doing with the writing on Facebook, is that this is much more vulnerable. It takes a lot more strength. Oh, see the difference between, in a sense, this right here is like the old radio. Remember, before there was TV, there was radio, and people would get attached to like certain DJs and people they could have conversations with. They would the call-in shows. Remember, they'd have call-in shows, and after a while, the callers may have gotten attached to the DJs, and they felt like they were friends. People out here are like that. They get attached to, and they've been around. They figure they've seen you for so many years, and you're now friends, and you know. And then within that friendship, they sometimes take liberty, just like children. Then you have to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. We cool here, but on the other end of this line, we ain't cool. There's always gonna be that line that says, for all the children, there's always gonna be that line. I'm never gonna be your friend. But what I am is gonna, when you get old enough, we're gonna be friendly. But I'm not your friend because you take liberties with your friend you can't take with me. Like my name is never gonna be Troy. Not to you. Mm-mm. I could call you anything. Shit. I took the time to help make you. The good, the bad, whatever. You got it. You got in this world. Wasn't all bad. Right? I sacrificed for you. You didn't sacrifice for me yet. So these are things I always have to remind them, like, Daddy, how come you always look mean? Ah, son, that's just that. It just looks like I have a scowl on my face. I don't. Oh, I'm actually a good guy at heart. When you have children, you'll understand a little better. I never give them the whole story because I still want them to grow and learn. I don't care how old they are. Largest room in the world is always going to be for what? Improvement. You're going to hear me say that 1,000 times. It's like you're going to hear me say kids are a blessing, them kids. Children are a blessing and a burden. On one hand, it came from God. That's the blessing. But you got to raise them, and that is the burden. We could always say, well, the fun part is making them. We always want to do that. Don't tell them that. Or maybe if you want them to get out your face, yeah, man, let me tell you how you came into this world. Your daddy, I had your mama leg up on my. No, no, I don't think I want to hear that story. You sure? Because her leg was all around. And once she told me to leave, you got to do her. You know, your mama freaking. Okay, I'll come see you later, old man. Works all the time. Get them on my face real fast. That's the damn lie. I wouldn't do anything like that. At least not yet. I'll wait till everybody is like 25, 24, and 22. Then I can get a little bit crazy. That's funny.